well and be brilliant. Today, more than ever, humanity needs you.
I don't know what to say. I actually am lost for words.
You don't have a right to not be vulnerable and authentic. Your number one currency in life is to have an impact on someone else.
Like, you have blown me away to the other side of the world, and I don't know how I'm going to get back.
Because if you lead with your humanity, you elevate theirs.
I am so grateful that the universe connected me with you, because this has been a game changer for me.
If you lead a doubt-filled life, you'll lead a bound-up life. Live a doubtless life and you'll lead a boundless life.
This has just been the most extraordinary experience of my entire life.
Leadership is in the form of your brand, and in today's brand, it's your vulnerability, your ability to be authentic, your ability to be seen.
Because you're just a game changer. I've just never met anyone like you.
Your ability, as I say, to live your eulogy, not wait for someone to mourn you after you've gone.
And boom.
Boom. That's my favorite bit.
Boom, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I know you like that. I like that too. It's a little bit of fun.
I love the boom.
Welcome, everybody, to the live experience with Stephen DeSade. I'm Peter Clark of Red TV. And let me welcome the man himself, Stephen DeSade, Sydney, Australia. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, mate. I'm in a new studio. I've got monitors all over the place, so I'm trying to work out where I should look. So if I'm looking away, it's not out of anything else except trying to get used to all of this. So welcome, everyone.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And for everyone in the green room, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it looks great, buddy. It looks great. No, and like I said, this, if anyone, for people that tune in are getting used to watching this show and tuning in, we do this live, so we're at the mercy of all kinds of fun things. And I know, like I said, you've been rebuilding your studio and you're bringing things really up to scale. So it's going to be really exciting to watch it unfold. And I love the new jacket. Just so you know, love the new jacket. I love the new jacket. Okay, so thanks everyone for coming today and joining us. And Stephen, we got some great guests from all over the world again. Someone again, 2 o'clock in the morning for us. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just telling you, I just don't know people like that. But then last week we had someone from South Africa. This week we have someone from the Netherlands. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And just on that, Peter, my first message to everyone on today's show is stop thinking your life is about you. Stop thinking compliments about you. The fact that people will give up sleep to speak to Peter and I see that not as a compliment to me. I see that as a gift to themselves. I really, really do. My mentor, when I gave up sleep for 6 years every Tuesday night for 40 weeks a year, he once told me someone will do the same to you. Someone will honor your example of the commitment you have to improve someone else's life. So even though Peter and I are quite in awe of people that give up sleep to speak to us, I'm in awe of people who give up sleep for the pursuit of what they dream they can be. Pete?
Well said, my friend. Well said, my friend. I'm in the same boat. Like I said, you never watch the clock. You just do your thing. You rock and roll and do your thing. And if it means getting up, hey, that's what you do. So no, I appreciate that. Love this subject that we're going to be talking about today is intellectualized sentimentality. I'm going to bring that up in a second, and you'll walk through some of the slides to open up the show for us and so on. We have 4 guests. We have 3 right now, just to let everyone know. We're waiting for one more, and hopefully we'll be able to get through everybody as we go along. So let me just jump right to it with you, Stephen, and see if I can bring up the slides. And this week's subject, again, I just love where you're going with this, intellectualized sentimentality.
Spelt with an S because I'm Australian, and so respect to all of the North Americans who want Z. So I was trying to work out how I could do both. But yeah, whenever we do these quick opening monologues, it's not in relation to the questions. Peter and I don't know what the questions are anyway. It's a sentiment to me is, how do you intellectualize your sentimentality and make your meaning matter? How do you do that? Because we always define what the words that I use in these little openings. Sentimentality is a view that is deeply held and expressed by you. And to intellectualize is the ability for you to arrive at a conclusion. Now, that's very high level. There's a million and one other definitions where you could get micro on it. But the ability for you to conclusion. So intellectualized sentimentality is for you to express your conclusions. Simple as that. That's all it is. So, but how do you do that? How do you do that? And I haven't been controversial in putting that image up, but I just think that image is express your conclusions. That beautiful image and that beautiful picture and the beautiful photography is expressing the conclusion of what.
I'm gonna jump in. Stephen, sorry, my fine friend, and I think everyone will appreciate me doing this. This is why we do this stuff. We're having some trouble with your microphone. It's cutting in and out. I don't know if it's the battery. I don't know if, but there's yeah. So that's okay. Yeah, but there's something that's happening, and we want to make sure that. So let's just do the double checking right now. And hey, this is why it's live, everybody, because this happens. This is life. This is what happens. So we don't freak out. Now your audio is gone completely, Stephen. Just so you know. So there's something now that feels like it's sort of back and forth. Yeah, well, we can hear that anyway. Here, I'm going to put that on mute for a second, everybody. So apologize, everybody, for our technical difficulties. But hey, this is live. This is internet. As you can see, not freaking out. Just what can I do? We're going to fix it is what we're going to do. So let me just come back to Stephen for a second. Yeah, it seems to be cutting in and out like a battery.
Well, this is not good.
Right there, it's clear. And then when you start moving around, it starts.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. So you just put it on the external mic, did you?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to.
You know what? If you don't mind for now,
No, that's cool. The funny thing, just turn the sound back on. The funny thing, yesterday I was in the studio for 9 hours with the Angels, having all of this on, testing everything for 9 hours.
Of course.
So
of course.
Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't matter. So we'll just keep going.
To a guy. Listen, I'm a musician. You go for a sound check. You got everything ready to go. As soon as they say go play, this happens.
Absolutely. Go back and
let's go back to the slides. We'll keep rocking and rolling, everybody.
Yeah. So to express your conclusions and how. So in terms of that beautiful lady's image there, she's expressing the conclusion of what she believes in and what's deeply held for her. The person who took the amazing photo was expressing the conclusion of their gift of photography. But how do you actually do that? And there's 3 ways of doing it. Clarity is your soul. You've got to embrace your intuition. And here's a familiar question that you all know about. I don't know why, but I just feel this is right. When was the last time you had that feeling? Because when you have that feeling of, I don't know why, but this just feels right, it's your intuition. Embrace it. Clarity. Confidence is your heart. Act on your instinct. Is this familiar, everyone? I know in my heart this is the right thing. I know in my heart this is the right thing, because when you feel that, it's your instinct. Act on it. Confidence. And the final one is clarity. Your mind. Trust your knowledge. And is this familiar? I've got this. I can do this. Clarity is the 3rd step. So when was the last time, I don't know why, but I feel this is right. When was the last time you had that in your personal, professional, and spiritual life? When was the last time, I know in my heart this is the right thing, your personal, professional, and spiritual life? Really stop and ask yourself those questions. When was the last time you had that feeling? And the last one, Pete. Sorry. I got this. I can do this. When was the last time you had that in your personal, professional, and spiritual life? Very broad, but intentional. So who is the raw and real you? And let's surmise all of this. It's your clarity, which is your soul, the confidence of your heart, and the creativity of your mind. Every single time you get clear, you enhance your confidence. And from a place of clarity and confidence, you actually explode into creativity. So often people are so complimentary about how I can take questions and instantaneously give answers on a whiteboard and do the things that with Peter's help, is because of the clarity of my soul over a decade of pursuing what is it that I'm supposed to do in this planet and on this planet for the humanity that lives here. The confidence in my heart that if you hang around me, I will help you to understand who you are. And the creativity for me, without any experience, putting together mixing boards and lighting, because I am absolutely clear in my soul, confident in my heart, and have the creativity of my mind to make a difference in your life so you can go out and do it to someone else.
Amazing. I love that. I love that, like I said, clarity, confidence, creativity. And it's funny how they're all so intertwined in that way. Like I said, when you're confident, sometimes your creativity, goes up. If you're clear, you're confident. If you're confident, you seem to be clear. So you're more creative. They all kind of are so
It does. Yeah, and everything we're doing in the Sede business, part of the reason for the jacket, for the enhanced audio that will work next week, for the new studio, everything I'm doing is to help people get clear on who they are, get confident on how they do what they do, and then get creative on how they apply their creative confidence. Fantastic. Everything, absolutely everything I'm doing. There's a very much an intention as to why all of a sudden this is starting to elevate. There's an intention in it.
Now, just before we get going with all the guests and so on, there's going to be, I just wanted to do, and because, again, this is a longer show and I want to make sure we take full advantage of it. So do you have a fan or anything going on in the background? Yes or no? No. Got it. It's just white noise and we're hearing right now for everybody. So the clarity is not there right now. Did you want to try it and test it again one more time for us, buddy? Just to see? It's worth it for 30 seconds. It's worth it for 30 seconds.
That's cool.
And I think everybody would be patient enough to understand, hey, this is live. Hey man, this is how it works. This is rock and roll. This is how we do it.
There you go. Is that working now?
Yeah, I love that sound, man. It sounds great.
Is it working?
It is working.
It's working. Okay.
It's working. Stay there. Don't move.
me not moving. Good luck with that.
Yeah, anyway, good. I was just going to say, what's the point of this show? I don't know if
it... As I say, Pete, I was with the Angels in the studio all yesterday, and we went through 3 batteries because we were testing how long the camera would go without plugged in power. Right. We went through 3 batteries that were lasting for 3.5 hours each. That's how much work was going on in here yesterday. Wow. So anyway, let's keep going. And if it gets flaky, we'll go back it again.
Again, so if I jump in on you, it's only for that reason. We'll switch back real quick and then we'll just keep rolling. Okay, so right now we have 3 guests. So we have 3 guests right now and we're going to rock. We have 2 people in the United States of America and we have somebody who's staying in the middle of the night. God love her. So I'm going to put her right in the middle. Let's go down to Florida. And we got Ramona here. Now, again, we don't know the questions. I met these people like 15 minutes ago, except for Jennifer. We met before, which is cool. That's very cool. So let's bring on. Here she is. Hello, Ramona. How are you?
There she is. Hello.
Good to see you. Now, here's something we haven't tried before, but I want to try it on this show if you don't mind. If I was to go to your LinkedIn profile, just tell everybody who's watching like what you do, because I didn't do my homework and I just want to know what you do.
Right now, I'm an athlete and an artist, and I'm learning a whole lot from everyone on LinkedIn. So I'm like a sponge. I'm expanding my brain and my heart.
Awesome, artist. I love it. Okay, I'll leave you with your question for Stephen. Go right ahead.
Stephen, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for holding my hand. I feel it. Thank you. And, I'm glad you were speaking about clarity and the giving from your heart, because my question for you is, I know you said you had a mentor and, for a long period of time.
Still do.
Excuse me. But my question to you is how did you come to that point? What was the catalyst for you, or was it a specific event that allowed you to open up your heart to the world to help heal all of us who have broken hearts and broken souls and are wanting to become better?
I adopted the past as my lifelong companion. And if you think of the past as a train, if you will, just for the example and the analogy, as I traversed down the train tracks of life, I kept bringing, and Peter, you'll jump in if my microphone plays up, I kept bringing almost an addiction to the failures of the past as the passengers or the companions on my carriage. And it built and it built and it built. And therefore, when I was sitting in this communal carriage, going down the train track of life, the language and my dialogue in my mind, my heart and my soul, slowly but surely became a consistent companion of doubt, regret, fear, anger, because anger is the voice of fear. And it wasn't until I realized that this is not getting me anywhere. And that not getting me anywhere was triggered by divorce, by bankruptcy, by suicide. Because if you live the past, all you'll do is manifest regret, anger, fear, and those things love the companionship of exactly the same thing. So I traverse down the train track of life, always looking over my shoulder and living in the past, manifesting into regret, anger, and fear. And whilst I did, people of regret, people of anger, people of fear were drawn to me, because you attract what you are. We do this live show now, and I'm not actually inviting anyone. People who come on the show are inviting people. Most people think, oh, how do I get someone on my show? How to get someone on my show? Someone asked me a couple of days ago, one of the camera guys that I was with the new studio, he goes, how do you get people on the show? I said, I don't. I just, in the next 24 hours, Ramona, you'll get a dedicated page inviting you to invite anyone else to come on the show. Because I decided to replace my train of regret with the beacon of hope that my life now is for everybody else. So if everything you do is focused on the past, regret, anger, and fear is going to be your companion. And every single time you have those as companions, your fellow passengers in the train track and road of life are going to be doing exactly the same thing. Today, I've replaced the past with my present. And my present has people like Graham. Hey, Graham, if you're watching, who talks into my life. Trevor Reed over in Perth in Western Australia, who's an amazing mentor and counsel to me. He's actually a Sede guest. He paid for me to coach him, and he now receives calls from me because I ask him advice on things. So I started to get present to what I was. And along the journey, all of a sudden, I replaced regret with hope. I replaced anger with love. And I replaced fear with faith. Having the faith, love, and hope that I can get on calls and instantaneously answer whatever you ask me. And it's not because this is some type of trick. I just worked out that for 57 years, living with regret, anger, and fear led to suicide, bankruptcy, divorce, and a life of solitude. This is the longest I've lived anywhere in the last 9 years. Previous to this apartment, and COVID's forced me to stop for all the reasons we know, I'd lived in Jane from the Sede Angels and Lou, hey girls, Jane actually records every time I move. I've lived in 350 places in the last 9 years because I was on the train track of regret, anger, and fear. And guess what, Ramona? If you have regret, anger, and fear, you don't care where you live. You don't care what you do. You don't care that your life is worth it. You have a focus on always thinking that something's going to come along to take from you. Mm. So in your case, you have a gift in the context of being an athlete. What is an athlete? Discipline, focus, commitment, especially as we advance in our ages, said beautifully and respectfully. You also are an artist. So when you posted ways back with that lady who was holding up one of your paintings, she was holding a painting with a smile because your painting represents a memory for the rest of her life about her new home. So have hope in your heart about what you're doing in the present. Have love in your heart as in the present. Have faith in the present. And all of a sudden, hope will come as your companion. Love will come as your companion. Faith will come as your companion. And people like Ramona will arrive into your life and they'll say, hey, Ramona, how can I not be like you, but how can I emanate the hope, love, and faith that you have in your heart? How can I do it? In my way, I dance on a whiteboard with Peter Clark's composing. In your way, draw art from your hope, love, and faith and go gift that as a smile on the memory of someone's life.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
I
know.
Like,
I'm sorry. I was trying.
My eyes.
I'm sorry, Ramon. I try to take you off the camera every now and then to give you a chance. But I love the fact that you're vulnerable enough and open enough to share that with us. Well, you're an artist, so your heart is big. It's automatic big. If you're an artist, your heart's automatically big, and it's very sensitive to the world. Probably very empathic, I'm assuming, right? So I can totally relate to that. Totally relate to that.
Ramona, really quickly, the art of life. What is the art of life? If you think in the context of when you create, and I've seen those amazing pictures where you pour paint on the board and you're drifting it all over and you want the orange to come down and you tilt it. For those who haven't seen it, you want to see some of the videos of how you create. It's beautiful. So let me ask you this. let's just do a really quick, simple exercise. Real simple. And I've got a new red pen, so I'm going to use red. When you create a painting, what is the process that you go through? You don't have to answer all of this right now, but when you create a painting, what's the process that you go to? When you create a painting and you're actually in the flow of creation and you're in the flow of the paint color and moving around the board. So let me just say that's movement. Oh, my red pen's got all streaky. Movement. Okay? So let's replace painting with you. What is the process of the flow of the movement of your heart, Ramona? Not regret, not anger, not fear. But if you're an artist, I want you to start painting a painting that's called you. Because you know what? It's high time you put yourself in the center of your life. You deserve it. And when I did, people like you came and shed tears about the hope that I created in them. I want you to produce a piece of art that's about you, and stop telling yourself and radiating out into the world that whatever hardships you've had have made you a better artist and made you a better person, made you a better soul, made you a better human being. And with the clarity and the confidence, go create the art of your life, because the most beautiful painting you'll ever create is called you.
Oh, jeez. This is... Ramona, listen, if I didn't have to do all this other stuff I'm doing right now, I'd be crying with you. Okay. I'm telling you right now, he's touching, because this is what happens when you're artistic and you have you're artistic and empathetic. I feel you through this camera. I really do. And thank you for that question. So please stick around. Okay. So please stick around. We will be right back with you, and really appreciate that question, Stephen. That was like, man, oh man, brother, that was just anyway. I need to catch a breath here for a second. It's just like it's we're when you're super sensitive to the world and you're trying to express yourself through, and I'm assuming with Ramona, it's art and things like that, and whether it's business, whatever it is, we're all trying to express ourselves. Mm-hmm. Man, oh man, when someone's able to kind of put it into a diagram like that, where we can start putting it in our head of a plan, it just makes sense. So what you just did there, I loved it. I really, really loved it. So thank you for doing that, my friend. Listen, I got some...
Sorry, mate. I've got to do one more. I really need to do this. So often, everyone, the great joy of Peter is not that he's moderating this and making everyone feel so comfortable, especially me and the guests, is he says things that triggers me. So everyone that's listening, everyone that's watching, there's two things I need you to do. I need you to be you, and I need you to be you now. I need you to be you, and I need you to be you now. Forget about what someone else's opinion of you. Forget about your opinion of yourself, because if your opinion of yourself doesn't come with a sense of clarity, a sense of confidence, don't expect clarity. Don't expect creativity to be a companion on the road of life, on the train of life. Be you, and be you now. Everyone, period, especially today. If there is a silver lining to everything that's happened in the world today, is we are all being given permission to actually go out and create a life, because who thought you couldn't stand in a supermarket? Who thought airlines would shut down? Who thought we'd have to all work from home? Who thought some people would have to have a phone call with the doctor holding it to their elderly parent, not being able to watch their parent and pass away? Who thought that would happen? No one. So be you now. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your future. Take ownership of your heart, your soul, and go watch your mind create at a level beyond your imagination. The world needs you right now. Humanity needs you. Peter and I need you. Be you, and be you now.
Wow, that is so powerful, Stephen. Yeah, and you're absolutely right about one thing, the creativity part, which I totally resonate with. When I'm not feeling clear and I'm not feeling confident, my creativity is lost. I can't even find it. I don't even know how to spell it. It is lost. And so confidence and clarity. Really appreciate that. Really well said. Okay, let's I just want to throw a couple of comments up here because we have some really always great people that we just love. Kimberly, hello friends.
It's all Kimberly's fault. It's always Kimberly's fault.
Always that. Doug is tuning in. So hi Doug, appreciate that. We appreciate
Thanks, buddy.
that. Look at that. Stephen is such a beautiful and well articulated and eloquently stated heartfelt communicator from a beautiful gem of a gentleman, a human being and a friend of mine, and to millions of people. So there you go. Fantastic. Wow. Another comment about nuggets of wisdom, inspiration, passion, encouragement, support, empathy, love, determination, positivity. I love this word. Here's that word again.
It's Katie. Oh, it is. It's KD. I know who KD. Kenny, you're a superstar, buddy. You got to come on the show. There's no way in the world I could spell that. Can you imagine me trying to spell eloquent across the?
Well, scrumptiously. I can't even say it.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with nuggets. Well done, Kenny. Thank you, buddy. I love you lots. Thank you.
I super appreciate that. And there was a great question from Ramona from Laura. That's absolutely right.
Hi,
that was
Laura.
well said from Stephen. Happily after. I love that name. That's funny. I really like that. That's cool.
Thank
Amazing.
You, beautiful. I appreciate it.
And this is awesome, Stephen. Thanks. And there's another thing.
Hey, Tiff, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, yes, that's right. You noticed it. I just thought you wanted to see some of the names. Come on.
No, it's really appreciate it.
Let's go to New York. Hey, we know who we're. Hey,
well, not that New York.
Here's a little secret for you. Of all the places I've traveled in the world, of all the places, which I could many, I've never been to New York. Can you imagine that? Me, never in New York.
I want to go to the New York where Jennifer's from.
Yeah, that's me too as well. Okay, Jennifer, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yep, I'm fantastic. Good to see you guys.
Now again, you know what? We've met you before, and we know each other from on LinkedIn. But if someone's quizzed me right now to say what does she do on LinkedIn, so please tell everybody who's watching for the first time. If I went to your LinkedIn profile, what is it that you do?
I offer encouragement, education, and strength out to others so that they can have a better day, and maybe get inspired and maybe think a little bit deeper. And sometimes, that might spark creativity in somebody. I know it does for myself when I'm creating that content.
Awesome. And you are a content creator. That's right, because I have seen your content. So thank you for putting that up on LinkedIn. I'm going to leave you with Stephen. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, so my question is, I guess it's a little bit tactical, so to speak.
Tactical's good. Tactical's good.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with people, one-on-one, especially a client or an individual, another soul that you're working with, and maybe this even happens for you when you're working with groups, especially as a public speaker, sometimes you have to open up a whole group to be authentic and vulnerable and be able to have that open heart to connect with you so that you can do that inner work with them or do that teaching with them. And so basically my question is, when you have these people coming to you, when you have these, souls who sort of may have been struggling to find where their soul is meeting their human experience, and it's really kind of covered up with, these illusions and these structures that they've built for themselves, whether those are walls or fears or the doubts and the things that we're talking about, even if it's like unhappiness, they might be, an exceptional performer, successful, even a great achiever, but still feel, unhappy or anxiety. And they're struggling with, kind of getting into that sliver of light between where their soul is meeting their human experience, being able to open that up to say, okay, I'm now this vulnerable soul, open, ready, and willing to discover who I really am, getting in touch with their emotions, getting in touch with that side of themselves to even be able to open up and connect with you so that you can do that work with them.
Yep.
You have some sort of modality that you use to sort of iterate or expedite that process so that you can connect with them in such a way so you can do that work with them?
Yeah, I do. Let's do it this way. First of all, get rid of the word client. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I never say clients. When I mentioned Trevor Reed at the top of the show, hey, Trevor, if you're watching, Trevor's not a client. He's a guest. I don't have clients. Because if I said client, people say get. If I say customer, people say service. If I say guest, Tiffany's first class travel, they talk about the experience. So everything, number one, that I do is get rid of the word client and start creating a guest experience. That's why everyone who invests in themselves by asking me to mentor or coach them becomes a guest of the Sede community. They become a guest of the Sede global community, a collective community of movement, and there'll be more on that coming. What does guest actually stand for? I have an attitude of gratitude of everyone that I meet, and I am answering your question. It may not sound like I am, but this first thing is a mindset. If you think of them as a client, they're going to think of themselves as a client, and straight away there's a divide, there's a wall. So I have an attitude of gratitude of everyone I meet. I want to create a sense of union in everyone I meet. I want to be an example of my expertise in everyone that I meet. I want it to start at first contact, and I want it to be timeless. So yesterday when you DM'd me asking if I'd be on your podcast and if I could fit into schedules and you'll do this, that, and the other, and all those really kind things that you said, gratitude, union, example, start and first, and timeless. So get the mindset when you're walking in with groups of people, which is what I do in terms of the tactic. I have an attitude of gratitude, union, example. It starts at first contact and it's timeless. I don't have clients. I have guests. I don't do customer service. I create experiences. Number one. Your example comes by way of you sharing your story. Your example comes by you telling your story. And your story, I'm going to do this. Lou from the Angels, can you time code this at 3121 and just take a shot of that for me real quick? Thank you. There's a whole pile of content that inside the Academy that teaches how to do this. Let's talk about story for a sec. So we're going to create a guest experience. So think of this, Jennifer. You've just walked into a group and they all think of themselves as attendees. They might even think of themselves as clients because they've paid for your workshop or whatever it is. And you have this unbelievable guest experience mentality. When I do workshops, for example, and I hand out little worksheets that people can fill out, one of the things I do is I put Jennifer, Steve, I give it to you as if it's a gift. And I wait until you're sat down before I hand them all out. And I have someone in the team actually handing them out. So when you first get the booklet from me that's going to be what we're going to workshop on, it's actually got handwritten words from me going, thank you for coming, Steve. Thank you for coming, Steve. Thank you for coming. And I make sure I put your name. Jennifer, thank you for coming, Steve. The very first thing you get at a workshop from me is a gift. And I know what's coming in the 2 hours or whatever it is you'll spend with me. So imagine you go into your workshop and you've got a guest mentality and they're thinking of themselves as a client and you break it all down. You then, by your example of being a guest, gratitude, union, example, start at first contact and timeless. Start at first contact. The very first thing that happens when they're all seated is they get handed a document, a workbook, which has got so much information in it, most people can't believe it, and that it's actually got your name, thank you for coming, and handwritten by me. So that straight away you're being an example of being a guest. Then when you tell your story, most people think a story. So we've created a guest experience by our example. And then the first thing we do is we want to create a story. And most people think a story is you wouldn't believe how much I've struggled. Let me tell you how hard my life is. Or people go, you won't believe how good I am, especially in today's world in the last 10 years. Oh, you're unbelievable. If you put your name and number on my page, you won't believe it. And by the way,
Sorry, Stephen, to interrupt you, Stephen. The audio is going. Sorry, my friend. Apologize. So it just happened about 10 seconds ago, my friend. And it does sound like a battery. So it's completely gone. Just so that you know. You might have to use this. Okay. Do you want to, I just put you on mute for a second while we're fixing this, everybody. Our apologies. Go ahead.
Am I back?
You are back, and you're on the external one, just so you know. Okay, my friend?
Hang on. We'll do one more little trick. Sorry, Jennifer. I have no idea what's happening.
Still not good.
How's that?
Yeah, the external one is working right now, unfortunately.
We'll do that. We'll do the external one. Sorry, everyone.
All right, my friend. You were, and
Sorry.
we heard you right up to success and so on. Just so
Okay, cool. So we're going to create a guest experience, not a client experience, when people come near us, one-to-one, one-to-many. We're going to be an example by telling our story, because that becomes relatable. Because when they go from the journey of thinking they're a plain client to all of a sudden having this level of guest experience, having this level of you being really authentic, the best way of actually doing that is give them not your story of struggle, not your story of success, but your story of switch. When did you, what happened to you to actually make you so focused on being so personable? And what you do is you tell about your struggle. Earlier, when I was speaking to Ramona, I said bankruptcy, divorce, suicide. I told. I didn't stay there. I just told. But other people know that I went to England, and it took me 9 months to get a job. But 3 years later, I was running a consultancy, and 5 years later, I was flying around the world buying property and helicoptering into Monaco and all those things. But I just tell. I tell. But it's in the switch that you teach. You teach in the switch. Because people don't want to know about your struggle, they've got their own. They don't want to know about your success, they've got their own, and they don't want you to tell them how good you are, or they want success. But they want to know, Steve, what happened to you? And if you think of what I spoke of with Ramona, all I talked about was how I switched my train from regret to hope. That's all I talked about. And I taught in there. I told you quickly about my struggle. I told you quickly about my success, but I taught in the switch. No one cares about how hard it is for you. No one cares about how many swimming pools are behind you. Everyone wants to know what happened, Steve, from the journey from client to guest experience that created such hope and faith that people have in you. Why is it, Jennifer, that I'm happy to come onto your podcast and I'll move things to do it? Why? Because you're in the process of switch right now. You're in the process of understanding someone else's life is the reason you exist. So there's a million and one ways we could talk about that. But one of the things you want to do is get away from the attitude that you've got clients and start treating them as a guest and create an experience. This is one of many ways you can do this, but this is the high level one, which is important because this permeates across everything you do. So you no longer have clients in your new business, you have guests. That guest is going to be an experience based on the example of your story. This is how I struggled. This is how I had success. Tell, but teach in the moment of what happened for me to understand it. To go from there to there or there to there, what happened? And you teach in the switch. What happened in that moment of me hanging upside down in a car thinking I was useless when I tried to kill myself, realizing that I hung upside down in a car and survived so I could have this conversation with you. The second thing that you want to do, and we've talked about this before, what is people's experience of you now? What impact do you have on people? Because if you want to know what the theme of your switch is, it's the impact you have on people. What's my switch? The inspiring insights I have. Where did I get them from? The journey from struggle to success. These are the bookends of your life. This is one side of your life, success. This is another side of your life. Struggle and success. This is me struggling to get a job. This is at the beginning of my career in England. This is me hanging upside down in a car trying to kill myself. This is me flying into Monaco. This is me spending $1 million on property in a cafe in Turin. This was me. This is the last 10 years of me being so present and living like a hermit, learning how I could take my struggle and success journey and create an experience in the example of who I am so I could go tell the world, humanity needs you right now, Jennifer. Go create a guest experience and watch what happens to your business, because you'll be competing against everyone else who's treating everyone like a client. No one can understand why Steve is so compassionate about helping people. It's my life. It's yours too, Jennifer. I know it is. I know some of your story. I know it is. I know it is. Your new business needs to be an example of the experience you give people manifested into the client competition of everyone out there is trying to get people. I'm going to jump online and do Zoom, and all the gear that you buy for home studios is all gone now because everyone's buying, because everyone's trying to work out how do I traverse from being at a business situation trying to get people. How do I go online and do it? You don't. You arrive into someone's heart and wait for them to meet you there. You can do this because you're already doing it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
She is. Yes, she is, Stephen.
Yeah.
Like you said, the content that she creates on LinkedIn, the stuff
Yep.
that you're doing, Jennifer, is already painfully obvious that you're on the right
Yeah.
track. I mean, from
it's,
anyone that's on the outside looking in, just so you know, as someone on the outside looking in, I'm a content creator myself, but and I'm filtering it through my own experience. I mean, you're putting a lot of work into creating that content, which means that you care about it, you're passionate about it, and once you have those things, you're passionate about it, you care about it, and you actually just want to share it with people. Yeah, that's 80% on the way there already. So you're doing it. You're doing it great. And Stephen, to your point about technology, by the way, you're absolutely right. People want to throw together cameras and microphones and all that kind of stuff. Even without a great microphone, brother, you are knocking it out of the park. Okay, just want to let you know that.
Do this real quick for Jennifer, because this is her home. Jen's been on before, and for those soul shifters who want to come on again, don't feel as if you can't come on again. So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And tell me when your podcast is, and we'll find a way to make it work. Number one, this is your homework assignment. You need to think of everyone who comes near you as a guest, and this is not just clients. After the show, I always go off with the angels and sit with a cup of coffee and chill out. And if someone comes in and delivers my coffee, I treat them like a guest. I do this with everybody, absolutely everybody. So number one, Jennifer, treat everyone like a guest, everyone. Number two, find out the experience that people have of you. What is it? Number three, the process is that framework I just gave you around storytelling. Then get into the flow of a framework of how you engage people. So what's the guest experience of the storytelling process that you can flow in the framework that's your new business venture? Thanks, Peter.
Excellent. I love it. That is amazing. I love it.
All right. Stick around, Jennifer.
That's gold.
Right. That's gold. I agree. That's gold right there. That's gold. Okay. Stay with us right here. That was fantastic, Stephen. And hey, I'm sorry for jumping in on you with the
No.
But the audio just totally left us, so we had to kind of clear that up for people.
Not a problem.
And all that kind of stuff.
Not a problem.
But as I said to you before, listen, you could do that with a napkin and some coffee stain, and you can still draw.
Back in 2014, and everyone, this is a message for you in terms of what I just said to Jennifer about what's the experience. What is the experience and impact you have on people? And I didn't mention this to Jennifer, but how are you actually doing it? I used to have a video series back in 2014 when I made all these videos and never showed anyone because I was on the train of doubt thinking I'll make content but never share it. Crazy. I had a video series called Napkin Videos because I would sit in coffee shops with people and I'd be sitting there making my endless videos I was not going to show anyone because I regretted and doubted and had fear in my heart. I would sit in cafe after cafe after cafe after cafe, and people, the waiters would come over, mostly uni students, and be asking me, what is it that you do? You sit here for 6, 7, 8 hours. Ordering one coffee because I was broke, but I was making all of this content, editing and all that and stuff. And I found the cafes with a PowerPoint so I could sit there for 8 hours. And what happened is I started scribbling on napkins. This is just a napkin. All I do now in Inspiring Insights is I draw on a napkin. So here's my question to you, beautiful people. What is it that you've been doing all your life that you're so busy asking for opinion you forgot to understand what it is that you do? This is just a napkin. It's just a shiny thing called a whiteboard, but it's a napkin. I've been scribbling stuff down on napkins my entire life. So here's my question to you, everyone. What have you been doing your entire life that you're ignoring? What have you been doing? Because people's experience and the impact you have on them. I've been drawing on napkins most of my life, and I certainly have in the last 10 years. So here's my message to all of you. What is it that you're doing that you're ignoring because you're too busy trying to actually get someone's opinion, or you've bought into the likes and share and the vanity vampire stuff, as opposed to looking for one soul at a time? I would give up everything to have Jennifer and Ramona react to me like that, not because of the accolades and all the glowing stuff of Steve, for them to see the light go on about how beautiful they are. Pete?
Yeah, yes. 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 I'm just going to say yes. Okay. I'm just going to say yes. Appreciate you expanding on that a bit. Hey, let me just throw up a couple more here for you. I got a little shout out. I always love when, hey, appreciate that. Just, hey, good to see you. Great to see you.
He's a superstar. The show wouldn't be him. Wouldn't be it without Pete.
Let's see, from Perth. Here we go. Greetings from Perth. Great listening to the wisdom and soulful inspiration you provide. That's Trevor Reed.
Trev's the one I just spoke to. His LinkedIn profile is about to go through the roof.
Love the sharing of Switch. That was great right there. Love the sharing of Switch as an experience. So there you go. Love that as well. Your life is not yours. Welcome to becoming a soul shifter. The best
dude, Rev. That's great. And trust me, for his riding in his Uber car is unbelievable. But anyway.
Oh, fantastic. See, guest sounds scrumptious, deliciously edible, tasty good. All right.
Gotta love it.
Gold. I still have it. And Trevor Reed says, I still have it.
Yes. Yes. Just a story on that, everyone. Trevor was in an interview and he asked me, and he's a Sede guest, and he asked me to sit in with the interview just for me to sit out in the corner for confidence and all that kind of stuff, because it was a really important position. And halfway through the interview, I just walked over with a napkin and wrote BU, and I put it under him, and he changed like that. And he's on the verge of getting the directorship, which has been a bit delayed because of COVID and stuff, but BU. And he still says to me to this day, every time I see him, not that I see him too often, he's on the other side of the country, he's still got the napkin and he carries it around with him. Everyone, what are you carrying around on your possession that reminds you of who you are? In my wallet is a $1 bill that Bob gave me in 2012, and I carry it with me every single day to remind me of the value he placed in me until I worked out how to share it with you. Be valuable to others by being present to who you are. Be useful in your life, and you'll be useful in someone else's.
Wow, amazing. I love that. And you're right, carrying something around, it really does, your goals, your list, just something that kind of reminds you, triggers you to keep going. Okay.
I have a $1 bill from Bob, and I have a 100 peso note from Jane, the head of the Sede Angels.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course you would. Yeah, fantastic.
My life partner, Jane. I have 100.
Okay, I got to get to this person. It's the middle of the night. It's like 2:45. It's like I'd be in bed. I'm just telling you, I would. Maybe for one show though. Maybe for one show I'd show up for at 3:00 in the morning. But we're going to have to do one 3:00 in the morning anyway, because we're going to have to try to get over to Europe and do this right for them.
We will.
So let me introduce Kat. Kat, I was going to say I'm going to say Katja. Is it Katja?
Yeah, it's Katja, but Katja. You can say Kat.
And how do you say your last name? I really wanted to be kind, so I didn't even want to try it. I want to make sure.
Yeah.
What's your last name? Say that again.
Koevoet.
Oh.
It's a cow and a feet together, a crowbar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, listen, thank you so much. You're just a few minutes outside of Amsterdam, so it's 2:45 in the. I think it's what is it here? It's what time is it here? That's your microphone again, Stephen. I think, my friend. Yeah, Stephen, your microphone, just so you know.
Okay, I'll pop back again. I thought I'd check it.
So Kat, so I'm going to stick with Kat, just so you know, because I want to be kind. I want to be kind about, because when you have a choice between being kind and right, choose kind. Choose kind.
Very true. Kind. Well said.
Okay, so Kat, thank you so much. You're outside of Amsterdam. We so appreciate you being here. If I went on your LinkedIn profile, what is it that you do? What is it so that people know?
I'm an artist. And I create from the heart, I guess. I create from photographs and children's drawings. And out of that, there comes a real painting, and looks like a 3D painting, but it's only digital. So
I freaking love that. I'm so going to dig into what you do. I love that. Thank you for. We got artists here. We got some great artists here, Stephen. I don't know what this is. Right?
You should see if Katja will send you the PDF of her book. It's amazing.
Well, I'm first of all, I'm going to go and check out all your work. We'll do that. So I'll leave you with Stephen. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, beautiful. How are you doing? Thank you so much. How can you possibly look so lovely at 2:00 in the morning? If this was the other way around, I wouldn't be looking like that. So bless you for being here. And give the little lady a hug. Give the little lady a hug for me also. But
I will do that.
What are we going to chat about today?
Yes, I was very, how do you say it in English? I was looking, when you first said what you are going to talk about today, then I thought, oh, this is something I wanted to put a question on.
Yes.
today I did a post about one of my artworks. It's a kid's artwork, so it's from children's paintings. I created that out of it. And it's called Next Move. I am a person, I want to give something to children in future with my art. And I know I have to be confident in me when I want to give something to children. And I'm not only an artist, I'm a mother too. I have 2 kids. And often I notice that when there's lack of confidence, in my art, I don't feel that. I have always confidence when I present an artwork because I know that is totally something I created from my heart. But in the world around me, a lot of things can happen, and sometimes it gives stress. And then I think if you dare to take steps, and I learned from you, don't fight in these steps, but dance with these steps, then everything is possible in its effort. When there's trust between you and you, and that is what you said also, this trust your instinct. But in some cases, we do not feel this confidence. And how do we increase our confidence and make each step more of us, so that the comfort zone will stretch, and we also will, in a way, give that to our children, if we are parents and
children.
Hello, my child is awake now, I think.
Oh, is she? Oh, she can come join us.
Ja, kom. Moet je even onder de tafel doorkrijgen.
She can say hello to Australia. There you go.
Ja, je bent nu in Australië, lieverd.
There is she. What are you doing?
Hey.
Oh, look, she just looks tired. Looks tired. All right.
I think she woke up because I'm talking now.
Yes, she did. But anyway, children just want to have fun. That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to have fun. So as adults, whatever we vibrate, they pick up. So what happens is between the ages of 2 and 8, we form our values and beliefs. Last week with Rob, we talked about your set point at birth, about the genetic gene pool that just makes up who you are. Your little daughter getting up and wanting to, the curiosity of wanting to know what's going on. So between 2 and 8, you form your values and beliefs. It's why so much of what happens to you, guess what happens in, I'm not a parent, but guess what happens at 2? We start asking why. And why is absorbing all of this information so that by the time you get to 9 years of age, you spend the rest of your life seeking evidence to prove your values and beliefs correct. It's the reason why, sadly, some people who are raised in houses with domestic violence or disrespect from a man to a woman, woman to a man, sadly, it's not unusual that they end up marrying into something like that because their value and their belief is that dad wasn't nice to mum and mum accepted it as a daughter, or as a son, well, I saw dad pushing mum around and it was kind of, well, okay, that's my value and belief. So from 2 to 8, it's not a nice thing to say, everyone, but unfortunately it's an example. From 2 to 8, we form our values, beliefs. From 9, we spend our lives seeking evidence to prove ourselves right. So 2 to 8, 2 years old, why? Because I'm being a sponge, to use Ramona's example. I guarantee if we asked Ramona in her early 2 to 8 years, she would have been a sponge. I guarantee if I asked you about your creativity between 2 and 8, you would be able to tell me about where you probably started fiddling around with painting or creativity. So between 2 and 8, you form your values and beliefs. From 9 onwards, you seek evidence to prove yourself right. That's why changing your value and belief is so difficult later in life, because it's conditioned into you. So one of the things you want to do based on that right here is now. In my training, I talk about your towers of expertise. When I was a little kid, I was really mobile. I was very visual. I worked out I had to be very distinctive and I had to be inspiring. Guess what the Sede business is today? Mobile, video, distinctive inspiration. And there's a video inside my training that talks about what are your towers of expertise? What are the stories of your early life that determine the 4 towers of expertise. Not about whether you were good at video, not about whether you were good at painting. I didn't want to be where I was. I got very visual and imaginary when I played sport by myself. I worked out that if I wasn't distinctive, no one would notice me. And I worked out that I needed to be an inspiring leader of myself. It's the reason it's easy for me to be by myself. So in answer to your question, what you've got to do is go back to what is the origins of you when you were 2 and 8? What were the things that you loved to do when you were a little girl? Because I guarantee if we spoke and had more time and I asked you about between 2 and 8, I guarantee if I asked you about dancing, there'd be stories about how you love music and you just love to dance. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. True? And I've never spoken to you about this, but I guarantee when I said don't use the word fight, replace it in dance. Dance so your child will feel the vibration of your heart. And if you dance with what's in your 2 and 8 towers of expertise, you'll start vibrating heart. And guess what children want? They just want to be loved. Mummy's up in the middle of the morning making chatting with someone. I can hear her. Your daughter just wants to be loved. She wants a cuddle. She's doing it right now. Hey, gorgeous, how are you? Hello from Australia. I haven't got any kangaroos with me. I'll bring one next time. So what you want to do is immerse yourself in who you were when you were young. Ask yourself, what are those things that you used to do? What were those things like for me? Very mobile, very visual, very distinctive, knew I had to inspire myself because if I didn't, no one else would. I was the 5th in a family. And when I was born, my parents wanted a daughter, not a son. So I just felt neglected. I was always given what was needed, but I felt neglected. So it was easy for me to adopt out. So I went through this process of changing my value and belief that my mobile, visual, distinctive leadership was going to actually enable others. So when your children are feeling the vibrations of your heart of fear, anger, despair, a lack of trust, you're invading their fun. And as I said in a post this week, you invited your children into this world. You have no right to vibrate fear to them.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, what was it when you were 2 and 8? When you were forming your values and beliefs, what were those things that you loved to do? I love to make out that I was playing cricket in England by throwing the tennis ball against the wall. I used to visualize what that would look like. Then I'd be really distinctive. I worked out that if I was going to stand out at school, I needed to be a really good athlete. So I won everything. Then I worked out that if I wanted to be inspiring to people, my best form of inspiration was example. Now I'm all over the world with video, being distinctive and inspiring people. People go, Steve, how come you do this so easily? I'm just being little Steve. And I just changed a tennis ball for a whiteboard. I changed a napkin for a whiteboard. Your child and your children, both yours and the ones you draw for, they need you to vibrate from your heart. How do you do that? Attach down to who you were. What were the things you did as a little girl that formed your values and beliefs that you now go and seek evidence from? The reason you have a feeling of conflict in who you are at the moment, Katja, is that your evidence right now is challenged against the fact that you do think there is love in the world. You have dedicated your life to the artistry of helping children believe and have fun and be magical. And all of those things are happening. And your challenge, your evidence now is, why am I fighting? It's not what I do. It's not who I am. It's not what I believe in. It's a little bit like me. I can't leave Sydney. So guess what I've done? I've created a studio and a hotel so I can still be mobile and speak to people in Europe and America. Yeah. So right now, the evidence of your values and beliefs is being challenged because you've allowed your reality to replace who you are. Your reality is challenging your values and beliefs. And when your reality is in conflict with your values and beliefs, the evidence that you're trying to prove about how loving you are becomes broken-hearted. And if you have a broken heart, you have a broken life. But guess what? You can fix it.
Yeah, I remember I wanted to be a dancer, but I wanted that in silence because one day someone said you can't dance. And so I never asked anyone to dance. And I found a painting from my age of 7, and I wrote on that, I want to be an artist. So I think the dancing and the artist is what I became. I only forgot that it's a dance, it's not a fight sometimes.
Wow, I got to listen, Kat. I can relate to that. I'm going to tell you a little secret about myself. It's the same thing. When I was a kid, when I was around 16, and I think that's kind of a kid, I wanted to be a full-time musician. Full-time musician. I wanted to that's all I wanted to do. I didn't know anything else. I just didn't know anything in my heart other than that. But I was encouraged to do other things. I was encouraged by it, and it's no blame to parents or anyone like that. There's no blame, but your point where someone said to you, hey, you're no good at this, maybe you should do something else. I was told, hey, you're better at that. So you should go do that. But it wasn't my passion. So believe it or not, I ended up being an accountant at one time in my life because I was good at math. But I don't want to be an accountant. I don't want to be an accountant. I want to be a musician. So just to your point that you heard somebody say something and it changed your life, that's the power of words. That's so powerful. So you're not alone in that story, by the way, just so that you know, you're not alone in that story.
Thank you.
Let me wrap this up. To all the parents out there, I'm not a parent, so I say this with deep and great respect, but this is for you, Katja, inspired by you as a gift to everyone else. If someone came along to your child and said no, said you can't, said you're not good, told you to stop, or told her or him, I think you've got a daughter and a son, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah.
If someone came along to your son or daughter at any age, all the way up to when they're 30, and obviously they're not there yet, but if someone came up to your child, everyone listening, and said, no, you can't, you're not good, stop, no, I don't believe in you, what would you do? Don't have to answer, Kat, but what would you, and this is inspired by Katja for everyone watching, if someone came to your child and said, no, can't, no good, stop, and I don't believe in you, what would you do? You know what you would do. If someone's opinion, because that's all this is, someone's opinion of your child, with my runaway cat, if someone's opinion of your child is no, can't, no good, stop, and I don't believe you, what would you do? Wow. Guess what? The inner child in you is you. So stop allowing yourself as an adult to have anyone to tell you, no, you can't, you're not good, stop, no, I don't believe you. Start realizing that the children you look after and are guardians of are actually looked after by the child that is you. So when someone's opinion of no, can't, no good, stop, I don't believe in you, your child, how would you react? And then how would you react about the little child within you? Because when someone tells me I can't do what's in my heart, the little boy that used to throw the ball against the wall playing by himself, I don't listen. It's the reason why it took me a lot of years, everyone, for me to disconnect from the opinion. And I say this almost on every show, and I don't say it to be confrontational. I don't care what you think of me because I'm so focused in making sure you care about you. I haven't got time to worry about whether you think I'm good, bad, or indifferent. I'm disappointed the audio's not worked today, but I don't care. You know why? Because I'm going to touch your soul, and we are going to leave a footprint on the soul of humanity, and I need your help. I don't care what you think about me, but I dedicate my life to making sure you care about you. The little child in you is you. So if someone says, no, can't, no good, stop, I don't believe in you to your child, start remembering the little child that you hug right now, Katja, is actually the little girl that is you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow, that is fantastic. And yeah, I so resonate with that story. I so resonate with you, Kat, on that. Like you said, it just takes one thing when you're a young child to hear something and you don't have anything to balance it against. You can't question it enough. So you're kind of forced to kind of go in that direction. Let's bring in a few more people here, and let's bring in Jennifer. Let's bring in Ramona. You guys stuck around. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. We so appreciate that. We so appreciate that. And the reason why we do this is because Stephen knows I love to put him on the spot. I just love to put him on the spot. But that's not really the reason. The real reason is that we've all shared some great stories.
It's a little reason.
Just a little bit. It's just a little bit. But you know, everybody shared some amazing insights and stories today. And when you hear other people speak, you know, you sometimes hear things in a different way and you have these aha moments. So I'm just kind of always interested in hearing at the end of the show, something that might have jumped out at you or something that resonated with you. So let's start in Florida. Let's start with Ramona. Thank you for sticking around. We appreciate that. And you went first and you stuck around for the show, so we appreciate that. Any insight or a quick little aha that you might have picked up from the show today?
Yeah, I really like the analogy of the train, but I have to tell you, there was something you mentioned on one of your previous shows, and you also brought it up here about the experience that people have of you. And that struck me so much in a previous show, and again that you reiterated it today. I had lunch with my daughter, and I was telling her about this show tonight, and I was explaining about how I'm learning about the experience that people have of me. And the look on her face, she just instantly broke into a smile. So that was just really, it was a gift. So thank you. Thank you.
That is awesome. The experience of you. What are people's experience of you? Yeah. And I know Stephen talks about that often with me, even privately. He'll always say, Peter, it's not about you. You got to start asking people, or at least be open to, when people tell you what their experience is, just say thank you, or yes, or wow, I didn't know that. But I understand what you mean by having that experience. So thank you for mentioning that. Jennifer, any little aha that might pick? Hey, you, and of course you're always rocking great content yourself, and we appreciate the comment that you made here tonight, or the input that you gave tonight. Any aha from tonight?
Yeah, I think like the biggest thing that struck me is when he's talking about that switch piece, is those are your moments of clarity, kind of like what he was talking about in the beginning with his slides. When you have those moments of clarity, those come in those switch moments that we have, where you're switching from that, darker side to the enlightened, illuminated side of learning or, discovery. And you find out, okay, wow, this is something I just learned that I can now either pass on to somebody else or use as a tool for my own life. And that's like a step process. And if I think about it, for the most part, all of the things I try and pass on to other people from my own experience, or at least, a combination of experience and study, are those clarity moments of I know this to be 100% true, and I want to show you that. And that's those clarity pieces, and those are those switch moments that we have. So it's like right there for you,
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's a really neat way to think of it in your mind now, to have that sort of organized thought pattern. And so I obviously have a lot of gratitude for Stephen bringing that stuff into such a beautiful picture.
Yeah, I know it's something when you see it in a picture form, like a graphic. Especially, I'm talking to artists here. I mean,
yeah, I'm an artist too.
Well, that's the thing, Jennifer. Yeah, and when I say artist, sometimes people think I'm literally talking about drawing or painting or music. But if you create content, if you're a creator, probably artist, creator is probably a better way of sometimes saying it, but creator. But I know what you mean by those switch moments of like, wow, there's clarity, and then comes confidence and creativity from that clarity. I really understand that. And Katja, my goodness, I'm just going to say thank you for staying up so late. And God bless your child there for being so patient and kind and all that. So, any quick little aha from listening to everyone here tonight?
Yeah, I found it was amazing to see that both also spoke from their heart, and I think that was really beautiful, because Stephen always says we need to be you, and I think they showed they are. So I learned a lot this evening.
That's great.
Thank you very much, and Stephen, thank you very much too, because it gave me a lot of insights again.
Absolutely. No, that's great. We appreciate that. And you're absolutely right about the other guests, including yourself, by the way. I mean, to be vulnerable and open enough to kind of share, our thoughts and sometimes our uncertainties, our vulnerabilities and so on. It's really tough to do. I struggle with that terribly myself. I really, really do. Everyone thinks, wow, you're so confident. Me? Oh, man. Yeah. You don't want to go in here. I'm telling you right now. Stephen, I know you're going to rock something out for us. So. everything you heard tonight is just amazing, and I want to thank everybody for their feedback, the guests, and being able to kind of summarize this, Stephen. It's always a pleasure to watch this at the end of the show.
Ramona, you said impact. Impact is absolutely everything. So smile is your gift, Ramona. Smile. Because when you're doing the paintings, you're smiling, you can see it.
Yeah.
Jennifer, you said awakening, it's in the switch in your clarity. Illuminate is your gift. With all of the journey of your life and all the different things that you've done, the way you are, the confidence you have, the way you present yourself, switch into your clarity and illuminate it as a gift. And catch your heart, be you, the origin, because your heart is your gift. And Pete, go in here. Go inside your heart, soul, and your mind so that you can have an impact on everything by smiling your gift. You can switch into your clarity and illuminate that as your gift. And you can have your heart being the origin of who you are and be that as your gift. And go in here. In here is to the confidence, the clarity, and the creativity of your heart, your soul, and your mind.
Oh, man, that is awesome. That is awesome. I'm going to put that on the screen again for everyone to get a quick screenshot. Even that is amazing. I like you said, it's all of these things, all these conversations we had tonight. They are also interconnected. Talking about the subject matter that we talked about tonight, intellectualized sentimentality, but the idea of clarity and confidence and creativity. It all came out in everybody's conversations tonight, and we super appreciate that from everybody. So all the guests, if you want to stick around for a couple seconds, we're going to finish off the show. If you want to stick around for a second, we so appreciate you guys being here. I'll tell you that right now. So Stephen, let's just let me get rid of that right there and summarize a little bit. I just want to add that back again. That was just amazing. I just love, like I said, when we take concepts from people, you're hearing things that I can't hear them. I mean that sincerely. I hear what they're saying and it resonates with me, but you're hearing it at a different level. And I appreciate you being able to kind of draw it out for us, and then we can walk away and build our own little templates for our own lives, you know?
It's really simple. To have impact, switch into your heart. Simple as that. And as I said on a previous show, going back a few now, when your mind stops, you're in a coma. When your heart stops, you're in a coffin. It all starts at your heart. So
what was that? Say that again.
If your mind stops, you're in a coma. If your heart stops, you're in a coffin. Everything starts with the heart. It's why Rachel Beck and stuff will get on so well connected with Rachel, because she's just a heart lady. Annie Gibbons is a heart warrior. If your heart stops, everything stops. If your mind stops, your body sits in a coma. If your heart stops, your body sits in a coffin. Everything stops. So to have impact, switch into your heart.
Oh, gosh, I love that. Man, oh man, that is fantastic. I love that.
Pete, can you just put you and I on the screen in the big square and give me 10 seconds? I've just got to do something. I'm not going top by the angels. Just give me 10 seconds. Hey everyone, it's Stephen Sede. Peter and I would love you to come on the show. So on this page, if you click below, put in the details, select which date you want to come on the show and come join us. We're live right now and we'd love to be live right with you soon. So click on the link, select the date and come join us. Thanks, Peter.
He's so live that I didn't even know you were going to do that.
No, Jane from the Angels is doing all the production of content.
Oh, no, hey.
Listen, outros. There you go. So thanks for your job. But if you want to come on the show, for anyone that's listening, come on the show. And for those, if they're still in the green room, the people who have just come off the show, in the next 24 hours, you'll get a personalized page with a personalized video as a gift from Peter and I for you to extend the invitation for others to come and experience what you did. And here's the thing, not come and experience what Peter and I do, come and experience unlocking the opportunity that is you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that, my friend. So before we go, I'm sorry for those. Sometimes I just can't get to all of the commentary, but I do want to throw in a couple things here. I love this about the 2 to 8. Yes, specifically 2 to 8 values and belief phase. So important. Awesome conversations. Thank you for sharing this. Let's see who else is here. I think Graham threw up one. I guarantee you are living this for. Is it Rajiv? Is that how you say that name? Rajiv?
Rajiv, I think so. Yeah, let's hope so. I'm sure that is Rajiv.
I know. I'm sticking with Kat, so you know where I'm going. I'm sticking with Kat, so you know what I'm talking about. And thank you. Thank you for all your beautiful open hearts. That's very true, Laura. Absolutely, or Lori. Sorry.
Laurie's got to come on the show with comments like that. In fact, everyone who's commenting should come on the show. Love to see it. Love to experience
this is what's so great is that our guests, when they come on, it's yes, it is for you, obviously, and you have that one-on-one opportunity with Stephen. But people that are watching this, we all get so affected, and we learn something. And the more vulnerable you are, and you can open up and have that conversation, it's not voyeuristic for us. It's a real learning experience. We really appreciate people doing that. So, Stephen, another great show, my friend. I'm going for that 1 hour show. We're not there yet.
We're tried. We were 6 minutes short last week, but anyway.
We did a great job.
I hope no one's complaining, but anyway.
No one's complaining. I'm certainly not complaining. I want to thank all of our guests, and I want to thank you, Stephen, for bringing it again. And I hope everybody got something out of that. We so appreciate you being here. And we're going to do it again. So you watch, obviously follow us on LinkedIn. Everybody here on the guests that you saw today, please go and check them out. They're artists, they're content creators, they're thought leaders, they're doing their thing, and they're making the world a better place. So what more can we ask for? Stephen, thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Well, we're brilliant, everyone. Take care.
See you, everybody.